Good morning. My name is Dadisi Najib, and I'm the hearing officer for San Francisco Public Works. And Jackie Vo is the clerk for this hearing. This hearing is being recorded via Zoom and will be available afterward through a link in the San Francisco Public Works website, sfpublicworks.org. As this is a virtual hearing, there is no sign-in sheet, so if you would like to receive information about the results of this hearing, please send an email to the email address listed on the hearing notice. This public hearing is being held to consider one item, order number 212465, to consider the Potrero Power Station Development Project infrastructure deferrals to final map 10714, subdivider of the Potrero Power Station Development Project. Submitted deferrals to SFPW, SFMTA, and SF Public PUC for review and approval. The scope of work deferred covers, but not limited to, traffic signal, various utilities, streetlights, sidewalks, and street trees. All deferrals were reviewed and deemed acceptable by each of the affected departments. My job as a hearing officer is to gather the facts for the hearing item, listen to your testimonies, and help our Director of Public Works make determinations. I will not be making any decisions today. Instead, I will forward the findings from this hearing and make my recommendations to the Director, and the Director will make the final determination. When the Director's determinations are made, the department will notify you of them if you have provided contact information. The hearing will proceed as follows. For the one case, I'll ask Public Works staff to speak first and present the case. There is no time limit for this presentation. Then I will allow, in this case, any member of the public or witness who wants to speak. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes to speak, and the clerk will monitor the time for all speakers and will indicate when the speaker has 30 seconds left. If you are a party to this proceeding, I will call on you to speak. If you would like to use visual materials in your presentation, please let me know before you speak. Then you will have the standard 3 minutes to provide your comments. If you're a member of the public or witness who wants to speak, wait for me to call for public comments, then use Zoom's raise your hand feature if you're on a computer to put yourself in the queue to speak. And if you're dialing in on your phone, dial *9 to indicate you're raising your hand. When it is your turn to speak, I will recognize you. If on your phone and you're muted, press *6 to unmute yourself. If you would like to use visual materials in your presentation, please let me know before you speak, and you will have the standard 3 minutes to provide your comments. Comments and questions should be addressed to me and not to the department or the applicant. If you cannot finish your comments within the allotted time, you may submit written testimony to me by the end of this hearing, and if I feel that a question is warranted, I will ask the question. After all comments are completed, I will close the item. We will now begin the hearing. At this time, we'll open the hearing to public comments. Are there any members of the public on this call who may make comments on matters that are within the department's jurisdiction, but not on today's agenda? Are there any public comments at this time?
I don't see any hand raised.
Okay, thank you. If there are no public comments for this item, I'll close this item. And the first item on today's agenda is order number 212465. Public Works, our representative, Mr. Hennessy, are you ready to make your presentation?
Yes, I am ready. And again, I am going to share a presentation. So, everyone is able to see this, see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. Before I begin, I do want to acknowledge that Mr. Paul Roberts, with the developer, has joined the meeting. And I'm also joined with a Public Works colleague, Justin Bush, who are joining to sit in and hear the items. And Paul can answer any other questions that may come up from the public related directly to the development team itself. But again, my name is Cathal Hennessy. I am a project manager with the Public Works Task Force team, and we are here today to discuss some deferred items that are related to the Proterra Power Station development project, PPS, as it's known as well, is the development that is located on Craig Lane to the north, Bay on the eastern side, 23rd Street to the southern, and Illinois to the western side. The area shown in red is the specific area for phase one. The deferral items, the infrastructure deferral items we're talking about today are related to the intersection of 23rd and Illinois Street, where circled here in the orange box, and other infrastructure related around the block 2, which is Louisiana Street, Craig Lane, and a portion of Maryland Street. Again, it's the orange area circled here. There is a third exception request, which was related to previous deferrals that were approved by the director in October, and I will discuss those in a later slide. Firstly, to the infrastructure. Again, as I mentioned, the project is undergoing the construction of an installation of a traffic signal at the intersection of 23rd and Illinois Street. The development team and the city are continuing to work with PG&E in order to locate a power source so we can power up the traffic signal. It is working with PG&E tends to have a long lead item. The project itself is getting closer to completion. We are potentially looking at late February, early March for a notice of completion to be issued for all of phase one. And it is likely that the completion of the intersection of the traffic signal will trail this. So the city has received the request to defer the completion of this intersection until post the Board of Supervisors acceptance of phase one infrastructure. In consultation with MTA and with Public Works, we are in agreement with this request, which is why we are recommending that we continue to defer this item until post acceptance of the Board of Supervisors. We continue to work with the development team and its contractor for the completion, and we'll be monitoring the construction. And prior to the issuance of NOC, we will also do a punch list walk just to determine the completing elements that need to be completed post acceptance of the board. The next request is related to the streets known as Louisiana and Craig Lane. Currently, UCSF are constructing a new cancer treatment facility, and to prevent any damage to future sidewalk or roadway, we received a request that we defer all infrastructure related to these streets, Louisiana, Craig Lane, and the sidewalk on Maryland Street, that they be deferred until the vertical building of the UCSF hospital treatment center is closer to completion, in which case they would then also need these same streets and acts in order to access the building. Talking with PUC, who would be maintaining the street lights on Maryland Street, they are in agreement with this approach. The streets on Louisiana and Craig Lane will be future private streets. They will continue to remain closed after Public Works has issued notice of completion and after Board of Supervisors acceptance process. So again, both PUC and Public Works are in support of this request. The final deferment request that we've got is in relation to some pre-existing tentative map conditions of approval that were previously deferred as part of the approval of the final map. 10714, which was approved in April of 2022. The development team have completed most of the items that were deferred, but there continues to be a few more, so we are going to extend those deferrals. The deferrals at the time had requested that they be completed within 60 days of completion of the final map, both for a bus license operation and also for some NSRs related to the public open space For the 23rd Street, it continues to depend on the connection to a neighbouring development project, but MTA and Public Works are in agreement with continuing to defer this item until we are closer to the completion of Maryland Street, which will complete the connection between the two development sites, along with deferring the notice of special restrictions related to private open spaces, as they will be part of a future phase which the developer is actively pursuing in submitting applications. So again, the Public Works Department is in support of all these three deferral requests and would make such a request to the director to approve. And that ends my presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Hennessy. We appreciate your presentation on behalf of Public Works. Are there, does the developer that's present wish to speak or give a presentation?
He is open to speak, but not required to either. We're presenting on behalf of the director, but
Okay.
Mr. Roberts is welcome to speak if he wishes.
Thanks, Cahal. I don't have anything specific to say. I just listened to what you had to say, and I think that was all accurate. Happy to answer any questions that the public may have, but otherwise I'll stay silent. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Clerk Vo, are there any, I'm not able to see, are there any members of the public that are here? I think it's just the-
No public comment. Nobody raised their hands. So.
Okay, well, if there are no members of the public that wish to speak and there are no additional comments from our team, I will close this item and will make my recommendations to the director.
Okay, I'm stop recording.
Thank you.